again. Welcome back to the Money Corner. We're going to try something new during the next 3 weeks. It's somewhat innovative. It's somewhat experimental. We're going to try and demonstrate and illustrate the process of financial planning. I'll have as my guests in the next 3 segments Don Zoch and Paul Zoch. Both gentlemen are partners in Zoch & Zoch, firm they own in Fairfield, New Jersey, and their specialty is financial planning. And I've got a surprise person on the show with us. I'm not going to tell you his name. We'll refer to him as George. He's a resident of northern New Jersey. We want to tell you nothing else. We do want to hide his identity because, in effect, we're going to probe and talk to him about his personal assets and his financial status. So it's evident to you why we're going to retain anonymity. Don and Paul are professionals in their field. They create financial plans. These financial plans are elaborate and they're somewhat costly. And during each of the next 3 segments, they will show you how they work with a client, how they identify facts or extract pertinent facts, and then come to conclusions, which in turn help their clients create a more orderly financial life. So with that as an introduction, Don and Paul, welcome to the Money Corner.
Thank you very much, Phil.
My good anonymous friend George, hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the Money Corner. I'm glad that you're with us. And now, fellas, I think I'm going to just turn it over to you. What is this process of financial planning? How do you go about it? And I'm going to let you interact with our anonymous guest, George.
Well, perhaps the best way to attack this is to just interact with George. What we'll try to establish during the course of the show, in the studio setting, of course, is whether or not, George, you are a candidate for the financial planning process. We're going to do this by interacting. You're going to find out exactly what that process entails, a little bit about us, and we're going to find out an awful lot about you. I guess most simplest put, financial planning is a process that will take you where you are today to where you want to be in the future, financially and otherwise. Now, for that process to take place, we need to establish where is it you are today financially, and we need to define some objectives. Generally, the latter is the more difficult. In the beginning session, we will pretty much establish where you are financially and interact. There's some key concepts that will be defined along the way.
So over the next 10 minutes, what we're trying to get accomplished, George, is who are you? Where are you today? Where do you want to go in the future? Once we have that data, or once we could understand it just as well as you can, maybe we could give you potential solutions to some concerns, problems, goals, or objectives. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, we're going to be talking about assets, liabilities, trying to identify a tax bracket, and try to see if we could solicit what motivated you to come here today. What are your goals and objectives? So why don't we just start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a professional person. I have a fairly good income, as most people do. My gross income from my practice was over $150,000. And I'm very, very conservative in my outlook about my investments. Not radical at all. Mm-hmm. And the money I have, I've invested with Phil, who I feel has the same outlook that I have. We have some money invested in a Kehoe bill, some money, of course, invested in IRAs. I have life insurance. We have a few stocks, perhaps, that besides that, that we have in a vault. I have a small pension from the Navy that I'm now drawing. Mm-hmm. And that about sums it up.
Okay. George, just so we can get a little bit of demographic information, what is your age?
We'll be 61.
Are you married, George?
Yes.
Children?
Yes. 2 married children.
Any responsibilities financially to them?
None at all.
Okay, from your practice, are you a sole proprietor of a business?
That's correct. I am.
How long have you been in business, George?
Since 1950.
Has the business always been constant? You said you grossed $150,000 without revealing your profession.
No.
Have you been earning money?
Fortunately, every year it has increased.
Do you have any employees?
Yes, 2.
Are they full-time employees?
Yes, they are.
Relatives or?
No.
Will your 1984 Schedule C business income read about the same, about 150,000?
I don't know. I hope it'll be higher. It has every year, thank God.
Oh, okay, so you can anticipate.
I assume that'll be.
Just try to identifying income, not only for '84, but more important, let's see if we can project out over the next 3, 4, 5 years, because with any financial plan, not only what's going to happen today is going to be important to you, but hey, where's the business going to be going over a course of time? As far as income is concerned, you're grossing 150. Do you know approximately what you're netting out to on your return? From the standpoint,
Well,
what's your net taxable income?
Yes, my taxable income was about $80-some-odd thousand last year.
Okay, which puts you in a 50% tax bracket. One of your goals and objectives, a tax burden, obviously, then. You would like to see reduce your taxes, if possible.
The only way I'm doing that now is through the KEHO and the IRA.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your KEHO? What type of KEHO program do you have?
The KEHO is one essentially of about several CDs, about $30,000, $40,000. The rest of it, I think, is an IBM. We have a total of about $130,000, $140,000 in the KEHO bill now.
Okay, including the other assets, IRA, KEHO, pension assets, and the like, stocks, bonds, CDs. Approximately, what's the total value of your assets?
200, 250.
Okay. Do you own a home, George?
That's besides the house. Yes, we do own the home, right.
Fair market value of your home?
I would say $250,000.
Okay, any mortgage on it, George?
About $8,000.
Fine. George, one other question. Have you ever considered a retirement or a potential retirement date?
My wife has constantly. I'd like to put it off as long as I can.
Okay, so you, as far as you're concerned, you can work providing that you're healthy.
Exactly, precisely.
Would you like to have the peace of mind knowing that you could go out based on a certain lifestyle at a certain age?
Well, everybody does, I'm sure.
All right. Do you have anything solidified in your own mind, 62, 65?
Oh, not at all. No, no, no. The only thing that I'm perhaps toying with is perhaps phasing out. In other words, instead of ending abruptly, to simply work less hours, less days in the week.
Along those lines, George, does your practice have any inherent value? Would I be a candidate to purchase your practice?
Yes, I think it does, but that's difficult to say. I would assume that would be safe to say that it would have none. If there is anything, that would be just that much more.
So in effect, your practice will simply wind down.
If I were to choose to sell it abruptly, then I understand some practices sell for what they gross a year.
Can be.
On the other hand, if I elect to go down slowly, then I'm sure the practice would be, when I'm time to sell, would be much less.
Concerning your practice, can your practice run without you being there?
Oh, no.
Fine. Do you have a key employee out of these two people that you employ that's capable of potentially taking it over?
Oh, no, 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 no. These are, no, not at all.
What was your 1983 contribution to the KEHO plan, percentage-wise to your salary? Your income, rather.
I can tell you,
What was the dollar amount?
It was about a little over about $9,500.
Okay. One very important, I'd like to, within our time frame, your cash flow. Your net taxable was $87,000 last year. Out of that...
Don, let's hold that question for the next segment. We've reached the end of this segment. Just to summarize for you, I was totally quiet during this whole segment. We're illustrating the process of financial planning to you. I've got two professionals, Don and Paul Zoch, who are professional financial planners. I have a guest. We're protecting his anonymity. He's a resident of northern New Jersey. We'll call him George. During this first segment, the planners have been trying to extract data about George's financial background. From that data, they hope to develop a financial plan. Stay with us next week and see part 2 of this process of financial planning. Have a good week.